Let's go live now to New York, and Sky's Hannah Thomas-Peter is there. And Hannah, can you try and explain what on earth is going on here?
I'm not sure I can, actually. This is firmly in the column of you couldn't make it up. Just when you thought that the election cycle couldn't get any stranger, it does. So this was a recording made in 1991 of a man who sounds like Donald Trump and speaks like Donald Trump having a conversation with a reporter. But the man in the recording calls himself John Miller and says that he's Trump's publicist. Now, he's talking in great detail with this tabloid magazine journalist called Sue Carswell about the breakup of his marriage with Ivanka, how he dumped a model so that he could go out with Carla Bruni, and all sorts of other things, particularly boasting about his financial prowess. But it's really interesting when you hear the reporter, who clearly knows what's going on, ask him exactly who he is. This is what he had to say.
Where did you come from? I basically work for different firms. I work for a couple of different firms. And I'm somebody that knows. And I think somebody that he trusts and likes.
He also wanted to give quite a few details about his love life. And this is what he had to say about Madonna, of all people.
Then she called recently about this fight and wanted to go out. But I don't think we ever reported that about Madonna. No, she called and wanted to go out with him, that I can tell you.
Now, Trump himself has said, that's not me. It's not me in the recording. I don't know anything about it. It was 25 years ago. But it sounds like Donald Trump is using the same language that Donald Trump normally uses. His supporters have said, look, it was a long time ago. He was well known for using pseudonyms and calling up tabloid reporters in New York and pretending to be his own publicist. Not a big deal. But his critics have said, this is a man who clearly doesn't have the judgment. He's a narcissist. He's pretending to be other people. If he were any other candidate, this would have finished him. But because he's playing by different rules and being judged by different standards, somehow it's okay. Many of them are saying this kind of thing is going to hurt him come general election time.
Well, it certainly doesn't seem to have had to so far. Thank you, Hannah, there in New York. The moment a store of fireworks set on fire and destroyed a garden centre has been caught on camera. People were woken at dawn by a series of explosions and a number of homes had to be evacuated. Sky's Charlotte Lomas-Farley has this report.
Multiple explosions and billowing smoke. These dramatic scenes are what residents on a Southampton street woke up to this morning. An extraordinary firework display which erupted after a major fire at a garden centre. And this is what remains. More than 70 firefighters fought to control the blaze and keep it contained, just about managing to keep it away from a tyre firm next door. Nearby homes were evacuated and the area cordoned off. Fortunately, fire services say no one has been injured. A shocking wake-up, though, for people here, and it seems a narrow escape. Charlotte Lomas, Sky News.
Sky's Fraser Maud joins us live from Bath. And Fraser, what's the latest in Bath?
Well, I'm just outside the 300-metre exclusion cordon that's been put in place by police. They tried to evacuate the 1,100 properties last night. Not everyone agreed to go. Some of them decided to stay in their homes, but all of those who left haven't been able to return, certainly to within an inner cordon, which is 100 metres around the area. It's a former school. Developers were in there digging up what was the playground, and just 3 feet below the surface found this 500-pound bomb. It was dropped in April 1942 when Bath was attacked by the Luftwaffe as part of the so-called Baedeker Blitz, which was where the Germans eschewed targeting industrial targets, military targets, and bombed cities with cultural and distinctive historical heritage, cities like York, Canterbury, and here in Bath. So it's been there for well over 70 years. At the moment, they've built a large structure around it in order to try and make it safe, in order to try and move that device. I spoke earlier to Chief Superintendent Ian Smith from Avon and Somerset Police, and this is what he told me.
Currently the military are still on site. Obviously they're building a device around the site with lots of sand, 250 tons of sand, and eventually, hopefully at some point today, they will be satisfied with their experts that they can then move the device with our escort out of the city to somewhere safe so it can be safely destroyed.
Well, we understand that that structure has now been completed, 250 tonnes of sand in these wooden crates, effectively creating a chimney around the device. The bomb disposal crews have now gone in to try and make it safe. The idea is they'll remove the fuse, defuse it effectively, and then it can be moved to a safe place, we believe to a local quarry, where there'll be a controlled explosion. In the meantime, though, these road closures have caused severe disruption in Bath. This is the main road north out of Bath. It's been closed all day. It has to have many of the side streets around here. So a lot of disruption for the residents here, but the police say that safety is their primary motive.
OK, thanks, Fraser. Live there in Bath. Police have released pictures of 4 men they want to speak to in connection with the attack on Manchester United's team bus on Tuesday. 4 officers were injured when the coach was hit with bottles at West Ham's ground. Our reporter, Willem Marks, joins me now in the studio. And do we know anything more about these 4 men?
No, these IDs have been released, the photos have been released by the Metropolitan Police. They are accused of throwing bottles at the police, injuring 4 of them, as you mentioned there, and also at the bus. The Met has also released in a statement some words here. Behaviour of the kind we saw before Tuesday's match is totally unacceptable. The vast majority of people well behaved, but we're looking to deal with a small minority of individuals who committed criminal acts. We're working closely with both clubs to bring these individuals to justice, and I would urge anyone who recognises the men in these pictures to contact police. Now, West Ham have said anyone found guilty of disorder in the pre-match rioting we saw there will face a lifetime ban and not be allowed to go to games, obviously, in the future at the new stadium at Olympic Park.
Have we had any reaction from the fans?
Yeah, so a lot of people I've been speaking to today, both from the Football Supporters Federation and then also people sort of experts in police control of football crowds, saying, you know, it's not all on the fans here. Yes, there may have been a few bad apples in a stadium of 35,000, a very minimal number. There was overcrowding outside the ground. A lot of the criticism being directed against both the police and the local council for a lack of planning. Seems to be the feeling amongst a lot of the West Ham fans, at least.